Seeing the legend of the game, Fred Smoot, on his hacksaw, Jim Duggan. You know what I'm saying?
Tanner say I had no skills with the play.
Great block here by John Bates on this influence trap.
I kept all my interception balls, too, in what I call the casket.
Welcome into Command Center. Our Commanders play the Bengals on Monday Night Football, and we've got some of the best highlights from that game. Then we set our attention to the Commanders' preseason finale versus the Baltimore Ravens. The fellas let you know what our guys need to do to finish the preseason strong and build momentum for the regular season. And last but certainly not least, a legend in our hearts and a legend of the game. We give my guy Fred Smoot his flowers. And as you can imagine, he was very humble about the entire thing. All that and more right now on Command Center. The Commanders were back at home for the first time this preseason on Monday night for a primetime matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals. Commanders fans were back in the building at Northwest Stadium, and Fred Smoot was in the building as the legend of the game.
Yes.
Welcome again the best crew in Commanders land, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, the legend Logan Paulson, and Mr. 2 to the 7, the legend of the game, Fred Smoot. My brother, I'm going to start with you, man. Monday night, we played the Bengals on primetime, man. How'd you feel?
It's so funny that the Bengals, to me, was our coming out party last year in the regular season. And to get this test in the preseason, I thought we needed. We talking about one of the league's best quarterbacks, the league's best receiver. So the defense was going to get challenged. I thought they stood up to the challenge on defense. And I thought offense came and imposed their will on the team, especially when they was on defense.
And Logan, man, you got to be up close to the greatness that is Fred Smoot when he's on that
right
field,
there.
man. How was it to hear the cheers and the roars of Smoot
I thought it was
on
boom.
that sideline?
That was boom.
I can't never tell.
I was impressed, man. Like, there was people like, Fred, come over, son. He's still pretty famous, man. You're doing a good job, man. Doing some good
I
work.
want to hear some jokes. That's all. I want to hear jokes.
What's Fred gonna say next? Tanner, man, was it cool seeing your boy out there?
Bro, I shed a tear for him because, you know, Fred deserves a lot of credit, man. We give Fred a lot of flack, but Fred was a hell of a ball player, man. So, you know, beyond the jokes and everything, he did his thing out there.
Fred is a hell of a ball player.
Truth teller.
And an even better broadcaster, brother. We're blessed to have you, man. Great job being a legend of the game. I was proud to see you, too. And, my brother, you brought us some good luck.
Yeah.
We have some highlights to go through. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get into some highlights, all inspired by my guy, Fred Smoot. It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the nation's capital since 1890. We start with the Commanders' opening drive down 7-0. And, fellas, we knew this run game was going to be heavy. Chris Rodriguez got his numbers called, and he answered with this 40-yard run.
Sometimes you got to ask him, did you get the tag on that truck? That truck is going. He was moving. Chris was moving on that
He
play.
did his thing.
Great block here by John Bates on this influence trap, man. And great job by Chris just feeling that crease right there and making the play.
You talk about the block by Bates. Two guys on this play. It was huge, and it set up an even bigger play because we got to see our boy Jaden Daniels on this field, and he was able to get a touchdown run. 4 plays in that opening drive. Not one pass, but this touchdown run.
Stealing from the baby.
Now, this play right here, I have to ask myself, Joe, what are you doing? All right, what are you doing right here on this play? Let that go. Throw that in the dirt. Let it happen.
Now, on this next drive, Fred is talking about our defense getting busy. You know, it gets Fred excited. Burrow tried to make things happen here. However, excellent containment by Jacob Martin, Cleveland Farrell, and Dorrance Armstrong, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. And that group came alive in this game, I think.
Yeah, I actually prayed for him there because he's on my fantasy.
And somebody else that's on your fantasy, Tanner, is the young rook, Jaylin Lane. He made a huge play right here with a diving catch from Sam Hartman.
But it's the route, Tana. To me, it's the route. It's the outside stem back inside, the speed cut out, and getting that extension on this football.
Lay out for that ball.
What a play,
not,
man.
not only the route, but I like the finish because when you have a guy draped over you like that, tough catch, he came down with it, showing big things.
And it's a situation, right? 3rd and 4th, you go to your rookie, and this set up a field goal for the Commanders. And we're going to go back a little bit, fellas, because all these moments are great. But the most special moment that we got to see was the rookie, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, our guy Bill, getting his first touchdown of his career. Yes, it's preseason. However, it is still his first touchdown. Man, how great was this moment, fellas?
Man, this is great right here. It's nothing more fresh than your mama reaching in her pocket and giving you a fresh, crisp dollar bill to go to the store with. Right there, to see him do that, I know how much work he put in his camp. It was good to see him get that touchdown.
And it meant so much to him, fellas, that he forgot to
About
save
the ball. Yeah.
My man do the I got money to what he does. And Jaden was the one that went and get his ball and told him, hey, man, hold on to this. this. And I think that's just so fly because Jaden Daniels was here last year.
Yeah.
He understood what it meant to get that.
And
very
I remember
first
him getting
touchdown.
his ball.
And
He went and found
and
that
he
ball.
went and gave it to his mom.
Yeah.
So again, just a major moment and why these preseason games are just so important. And fellas, all of y'all have scored a touchdown at this table, man. Did y'all keep y'all first touchdown ball?
Yeah, I kept mine. Gave it to my mom. Yeah, maybe I didn't keep it, but. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I did score. Yes.
Get out of here, man. He said he
I was gonna try to power through. Logan was too. Logan, so you did keep your first ball?
I did. Yeah, kept it.
Yeah, I kept mine. I kept a few of mine. I kept I think my first 10 touchdowns was all wrapped up and put somewhere in my closet. So.
Fred, how many years did it take you to get that first pick six or that touchdown?
Probably like my 6th year because I had one called back. I had 2 called back.
I don't care about that one, though.
I'm just saying, I had one in Chicago, had it called back. I ran it in the end zone. But me, myself, I have several balls collected because I kept all my interception balls, too, in what I call the casket, where I put the name of the quarterback, what route was trying to run on me, and what receiver it was. So, therefore, I keep all of the balls, not just the touchdown balls. Now, him, myself, he got gloves from blocking.
I don't even know where to go for that. Fellas, y'all believe that he has a box full of balls like this? I never
I
know what to
it.
believe.
Yes, I do.
Fred Smoot.
It's called the casket.
I don't think it's called the casket. I think it's just in his garage. Yeah. That's what I think.
Just in the box that he's never touched. That is our listen to the game, Commanders family. And
Lord
what a major moment it was on primetime. Not only for Bill Merritt, but also for Jaden Daniels and company. Jaden Daniels looked great in just 4 plays. His first drive in the preseason. And my man looked good. He talked to them on ESPN sideline and had some fun stuff to say. Let's take a listen.
It was fun.
Why didn't you go down?
I wanted to score.
You know everybody in the building held their breath on that, though, right?
Yeah, but then after everybody cheered, so it was a win-win situation.
Into the end zone for a touchdown. It may be August 18th, but this crowd is going crazy because Jaden just reminded them of the magic he has.
Fellas, we are talking Jaden Daniels, and we got to finally see him get some preseason action Monday night. Logan, you were right on the sideline. You had the best vantage point out of all of us, man. What'd you see from JD5?
I mean, it's kind of easy night for him. Easy lift, right? You know,
plays.
He didn't throw it back.
But I will say this: the one thing we talked about on the Command Center podcast is like the thing that he does. He dictates games with his athleticism, right, and his decision making, right. So like everyone's been freaking out about the man coverage out here at practice. All of a sudden, the first rep of man coverage in the game, we're going to scramble for a touchdown. So love the composure, love the athleticism, love the playmaking ability. Yeah, it was 4 plays. The offensive line really is the kind of the star of the night. The running game's the star of the night. But when he had to make a play, he made a play, and that's what he's done ever since he's been here, which is always exciting.
Love the passion and the happiness he plays with.
Yeah.
I love it's infectious what he do. Listen, this is your star quarterback, and a rookie running back scored his first touchdown. JD5 went and got him that ball. Said, man, you need to remember this. You need to savor this. The smile he has on his face, infectious. The energy that he brings, infectious. It leaks all through your team. He is the force multiplier. He makes everybody better.
Yeah, I think when you ask us, what did we see? We saw execution. We saw a guy go out there and did what was given. You know what I mean? Went out there, we ran the ball a couple of times. When the time came for him to throw the ball, nothing open. Let me go ahead and do what I do best and find a way to get in the end zone. He did just that.
And Tanner, he connected kind of. I mean, it was a handoff to your boy Deebo Samuel. We got to see that breakaway speed. A lot of people had questions on if he still had those burners like that. I think we got to see a little glimpse of that Monday night.
No, I mean, this is what we knew that Deebo brings to the table. I think Fred said it best. He's one of those guys that going to make defenses like basically.
You got to alert.
You got to alert him.
You got to alert him.
You got to know where he's
everywhere
at.
he moves.
You got to understand when he's in motion. You got to move things on defense because you want to make sure that he don't be able to affect the game doing what he does best. And I think when you do that, that's what's going to open up things for everybody else. So I love to see it. I love to see us kind of toy with it in the preseason to show y'all, like, if you don't stop this, we're going to run you in the ground with it.
Also, great call by Cliff. I think getting your best player,
right now.
Yep.
Let's get it going, right? Like, why we wait? Let's make sure he's involved. Let's make sure he's engaged. And we're only playing 4 plays, so let's get out of here.
Well, think about it. Like, most time you hear the word receiver, you think vertically.
Yeah.
Guy gonna attack me vertically. Deebo attacks laterally. He makes you guard all the yardage on the field, the whole field. He makes you respect it. Then you put a quarterback that's dynamic in the middle of that changes how the defense can affect you, that changes how the defense can attack you. It's a whole different logistic thing when you're a defensive coordinator.
And fellas, to Logan's point, I think that's what made people so excited about a guy like Deebo Samuel in this offense because he's going to be used in different ways and he's going to get the ball in his hands. But like you said, Logan, the running backs were the story. And coming into the game, we had found out that Chris Rodriguez and Ja'Cory Cross-Kamara, our guy Bill, were going to get a ton of touches. Right away, Chris Rodriguez answered that call, had a big run, man. How great was it to see our running backs knowing more focus was going to be on them, rise to the occasion?
Hold on. Let a man that's more educated. All right, check this out. The one thing I did love about Chris Rodriguez.
Check it out.
Let me tell you about Chris Rodriguez. When you seen him this offseason, trim up, slim up, sharpen up his pass blocking. Understand, I'm finna cross my T's and dot my I's. If I get a chance, I'm never letting it go. That's how he ran that ball the other day. All right, so when you see guys attack that hole like Dollar Bill did, they're understanding. Yeah, did he miss some holes? Yes, he did, but that's what a young player gonna do. Yeah. I just think they're getting a true understanding of what's going on, and I think it comes from Coach Quinn, the hunger of let's do this every day.
And Tana, it's great to see somebody like Chris Rodriguez, right? Cut so many times. I think he had 3 different numbers last year.
Yeah.
Stayed locked in, stayed focused. And we have been saying it. We go to every game. He just needed the opportunity. Yeah. Now he has the opportunity. Man, how happy does it make you to see a guy like that that's just fought his way onto this team be able to make a name for himself like that?
I mean, it tends to allow the coaches to know what you have in the player. Just seeing that, hey, we've put this guy through the fire. I mean, he's been here. He's lost his number a couple of times.
It's been guaranteed.
Brought back, and then you see the same. He put out the same performance every time. Every time he's here, whether he's on the team for a long time, been on the practice squad, cut, brought back, he goes out there and he's productive. So that's what gives you guys a chance. And then not only that, he just talked about it. Fred just talked about a guy coming in slimmer. He set the tone. Yeah. This is what I'm coming. I'm coming looking better. I'm going to be able to run fast. I'm going to be a little quicker, and I'm going to still bring my hard hat.
And be healthier, too.
And fellas, my favorite part of the night, I don't know about y'all, was seeing the legend of the game, Fred Smoot, on his hacksaw Jim Duggett. You know what I'm saying? My boy looked good.
What part was he stirring up there?
Tanner say I had no skills with the flag. And I know I'm a great flag guy. The intensity and intention were there.
I know I'm a great flag
Fred,
guy.
when I saw our defensive making plays, I said, you know what? That's inspired by Mr. 2 to the 7, Fred Smoot.
It was. The one thing that I did, when I was swinging it, I seen the D-line look at me and nod their head. Like, yeah.
How do you do it?
We see what you laying down. We see what you laying down. Then I also saw the defense look up at my highlights. They were like, I never saw anything like it. That switched up everything in the, how should I say, the tempo of the day.
Fred,
don't worry about it.
Fred, we appreciate you bringing out the best in all of us, especially our Commanders. Our defense looked good, so good that they even ranked high on PFF's grades for all Commanders in Monday night's game. Let's take a look. For preseason week 2 for the Commanders, where safety Percy Butler with 83.7, then wide receiver Jaylin Lane at 79.6, then safety Robert McDaniel. He's coming from an HBCU. Tough kid right there. Then our edge, Jacob Martin. You saw him help on a sack earlier in the game. And then defensive tackle, Ricky Barber. 4 out of 5 defensive guys, fellas. Fred, your motivation worked.
Listen, that's the least I could do.
He ain't motivated Jack.
We are going to give Fred a break from all this ridiculousness, and we're going to talk more defense with the captain, London Fletcher. You got it, Big Fletch. Save us.
Here to give you my thoughts on the preseason game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And me being a linebacker, I want to talk about the defense, especially the starters. I thought the defensive line, they did an outstanding job really controlling the line of scrimmage against the Bengals in that ball game. Javon Kinlaw, he played like a full-grown man. You saw why he was a priority free agent signing. You saw him getting off blocks, snapping linemen's head back, making tackles in the run game, really showing all the different skill sets that he will bring to this defense. I thought Dorrance Armstrong, he made some nice plays, really creating havoc. The sack that him and Jacob Martin was able to get on Joe Burrow, the 17-yard sack, that's a great example of rush and coverage working together. There was nowhere for the Burrow to go with the football in the passing game, had to hold on to it, but it was the relentless pursuit of the defensive linemen pursuing Burrow until they were able to come up with the sack. If we can get that type of relentless pass rush and that coverage against the New York Giants and throughout the season, I can't wait to watch these boys play.
Thanks, London. Now it's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek. Now to Logan and Bram on the field.
Logan Boston here with Bram Weinstein. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Always fun to be out here at practice with you.
Yeah.
Offensive line, I thought, played really well against Cincinnati, especially that first group. I want to talk about that starting group. I mean, not really the starters, though, because they've got a kind of a mismatched musical chairs group of guys out there.
Yeah, it was unusual to see that. I think, we're missing at least 2 of the 5.
Correct.
We'll see where Sam Cosmi is, as we get closer to the start of the season. But eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, we're going to have the full 5. And I think first time we're going to see that might be week 1, might be week 2. We don't know, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it looks like. But I'm with you. That game the other night felt like a game, which you don't often get, at least for a quarter and a half to 2 quarters. The juices were really flowing. You guys are calling out, there goes the Hogs, on a couple of touchdown runs. It was really well coordinated. And I will say this, the depth on this offensive line, first of all, is on display here in the preseason and is very different from where we were a year ago.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second, because that's one thing that really jumps out to me. I was thinking about it on the way over here to watch practice. It's like, last year if we had 2 injuries, it was like, oh no, it's going to be a tough week. How are we going to run the offense? And here now, with Allegretti and Wiley kind of moved to those supplementary roles, it feels like it's become a really deep kind of dynamic group all of a sudden.
Yeah, they have 2 guys who can start. They're the primary backups for them.
Which is what you're looking for, right?
Which is what you're looking for. They've upgraded in talent in Laramie Tunsil, clearly, as I can't wait to really see him.
Yeah.
Like the first real moment we got of him was the joint practice up in New England, where we got to see what he's about in this uniform. I can't wait to see him against the Giants. Brandon Coleman is coming back this week. Hopefully he'll be ramped up, ready to go. I want to see what he looks like in a new position for him this year. And Josh Connerly seems to be, and you're probably better to talk about this than I really am, it feels like he's getting better by the day. Like early in the part of camp, there was a part of me that felt like he looks like a rookie, And there are some moments here where you're like, listen, one mistake in a big game with someone like Brian Burns, and things can get turned upside down. He feels like he's growing and growing and growing, and I'm getting more and more and more, and probably they are too, more comfortable with him at right tackle.
I mean, that's definitely what it looks like to me. And again, like you see a guy who's tremendously athletic, he's got the length, and like that's what you're kind of waiting for, is him to kind of figure it out, the angles, the speed of these NFL rushers. But the one that I'm kind of worried about, and you alluded to there, is Brandon Coleman. Like we kind of know what Tunsil is. We see Connerly's progression. Brandon Coleman moving to that spot, even though that seems like an upgrade, I don't know. It's we haven't seen it, and I'm sure Cliff Kingsbury feels kind of the same way.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, but if there was any sign of where this team is, at least from a coordination perspective, you saw it against Cincinnati with a bunch of players that aren't projected to be the starting offensive line to have the type of success that they had in the limited amount of time. It's very reassuring.
Yeah.
I think the offense, because of all the different people who have been in and out throughout the course of the summer, they haven't really had their group out here at any point in time. So I think it's been really a curiosity. What are we going to get? I felt like this summer was going to be about refinement, but instead it's been about trying to figure out who's available, and they're working through all of that.
Yeah.
So what are we going to get against the Giants? I don't know. And I think we're all going to be surprised and find out together.
Yeah, and I think the other cool thing we got to give, Chris Paul a shout out, had a great summer, and then Trent Scott too. And so, and last year was like, who's going to make the 53? It feels like those 8 are going to make it, and do they keep 9 with Cosmi going to pup? That to me feels like the big question.
The training camp award for me is Andrew Wiley.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiley has been basically asked to play every single position but center throughout.
Yeah.
In games, in practices. He was the left tackle the other day.
Yeah.
He's been the right tackle. He's been both guards
Yeah.
in the joint practices, in the scrimmage,
Yeah.
in the games, in practice. He's been asked to do everything. I don't know what you get for that, but you deserve something.
And it deserves some type of recognition, absolutely. And that's a really fun group to talk about. We could talk about them all day. We got to get back to the show. Brian, back to you.
Shout out to the fellas down on the sidelines of practice for getting us ready for this preseason finale. The Commanders' offensive line carved a path for Washington running backs to put up big plays on prime time. The depth at O-line was on full display against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Saturday's game will be a crucial time for head coach Dan Quinn and company to make final roster evaluations.
It's all part of the whole process, and this time of year can be most challenging for the players that may see themselves on the roster bubble or the practice squad bubble, and you just try to encourage them, man, like try not to count, like best foot forward, what's your best look like. And I've seen a lot of that from guys at practice. I've been also impressed by some players, that we've added late and then have worked their ass off to get caught up. I've seen that, with Hamilton. He played on defense, he played on teams. I was impressed by that. And then we added, another new offensive tackle in Fant today, so I'll be excited to get on the field with him. But this time of year, man, it does get heated in that space, but that's my messaging to make sure, man, like don't get into the counting business. Like whatever your best looks like, we talked about it early, just that competition of going for it with one another and supporting each other. And I liked what I've seen from that side. But it's a real thing. It's a real emotion. They want it badly to make it, and they know this is a team they want to be a part of. So I want to make sure they stay in that pocket of doing right.
It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Fellas, previewing our last preseason game. It's crazy to think we're almost at week 1 of the regular season. But first, we got to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Now, we spoke about it a little bit, but Monday night, a rushing attack looked strong.
Yeah.
How can we build on that going into Saturday's game, Logan?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of motivation to continue to build on that for the guys that are going to be playing in the game, right?
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that Cliff did that was so awesome was he had this great game plan, right? Are you going to game plan your third preseason game? Probably not. It's going to be base install. So it's like, can we get these runs targeted? Can we be aggressive? Can we be physical? And can we make a name for ourselves and declare that we should be on this 53 or 70-man practice squad roster? And I really think that's what it comes down to. So in terms of continuing success, it's not going to be X's and O's. It's going to be Jimmy's and Joe's, and it's going to be physical, downhill, Commanders football.
It's the day of the dream catchers. Some people dream gonna fly through their hands. Some people gonna catch their dream. It's you got to take it on.
That's a sad metaphor right there.
But we know the truth of it. We know the sad truth of it is everybody out there can't live their dream at the same time. And you're going against a team with the Ravens who take preseason very seriously. Yeah. We know how serious they take it. They had a winning streak. We broke their winning streak. We know how hard they take it. So to me, this is a coach's delight. I got my second screen. I got my third screen. We're finna go to somebody that take this very seriously. I'm gonna see what we got when it comes to the 50, 52nd, 53rd spot on this roster.
I think the question I ask is, do we see the same two guys that we saw Monday night? You know, having Rodriguez go out there and have a good game, having Bill Merritt go out there and play the way he did. We kind of already know what's going on in that room when it comes to not, playing one of those guys. So do we see those two guys knowing that, hey, we're a couple of weeks away from, week 1?
And to Fred's point, you talk about that 52nd guy, that 53rd guy. This is a very important game for us because we're still trying to figure out that depth. One thing about us having all this depth is those last final spots are going to be very, very important. Logan, when you're looking at this game Saturday, you will be on the sideline again. You're on the sideline Monday night. What are you looking for, and who are you looking to step up and make a name for themselves in this last preseason?
This is really hard because you're not going apples to apples necessarily in terms of comparison. You're going, who's the 8th offensive lineman?
Yes.
Are we keeping a 5th linebacker? Who's the 5th or 6th wide receiver?
What's the versatility?
Are we keeping 8 DBs or is it 9? And then, because again, there are certain positions right now on the roster that are stronger, right? The DB room is very, very strong, right? The offensive line room, there's a bunch of dudes that have made big pushes there. So do you kind of finagle some of those other rooms?
Yeah.
Maybe. And so, it's hard in terms of, it's not like, oh, I'm watching linebackers. It's like I'm watching – Julian Good-Jones versus Alhe Cajo, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that it's a much different evaluation than kind of any time of the year.
And I think it's going to be like that when you look across this offensive line. Talk about that offensive line. I think that's where we've seen the depth the most. And we've seen guys like Chris Paul just stepping up and really showing, okay, they're going to be able to make plays. Fred, is there anybody on that offensive line that you think can really step out like kind of Logan was talking about in this Ravens game?
Logan is right. That room itself, I call it divine swine. It's a lot of guys in there. And I think what's going to kind of change everything is, can Chris Paul fill in for 2 positions if needed? Guard, tackle.
Because he's played great, man.
He's played great. He's played great. Can Dieter play center when I need him to? Can he play guard? It's like any other position. Versatility might win you this job over who's just straight line better at one position. And when I'm looking in here, they won't swing people. Wiley can swing. He can play anywhere it need be. So I think it's who can fill in, who can swing.
And I also think that the expanded practice squad is big for those guys, right? Because of the elevation rules now. So it's really like we're keeping 8 on the active roster, but we're going to keep 2 more on the practice squad.
2 right here,
and that's something you could never do in the past with the old kind of what we're exposed to in terms of practice squad. So I think there's going to be a lot of guys that stick around because they've all had good camps.
And Tanner, we talked about the offensive line position group. We talked about the running backs. Is there another position group that you're looking at in this final game?
Why are you asking me that?
Because we know who you're looking for.
You know who I'm looking at. This is the receiver room.
This is the toughest one.
It's so tough.
I feel like it's blatant that this is the room. There's so much going on in that room. You have guys that's not playing. We have the one guy that everybody's been talking about all camp in Debo, and we know he's not primary a wide receiver when it comes to some
whatever you need.
Some things we're going to see, but I'm just looking to see who's going to add to it. I think right now, Jaden Lane has already shown in 2 weeks that, hey, I'm going to be a force in this passing game. Not only as a point return and kick return, I'm going to be a guy that you can count on as a receiver. And then from there, it's like, do we see Armstrong step up? I mean, not Armstrong, Osborne step up. Yeah. Do we see Brooks go out there and make a case and say, hey, I don't want to be on practice squad. I want to be on this 53-man roster. So I think names like that stands out to me. But I'm really sitting there with my eyes wide. Like, somebody has to step up in this group.
And then with the receivers, too, it's also the special teams. We talked about how good Luke played on
What
special
else
teams
can
in the last
you
game.
do?
So who's going to fill that 5th, 6th spot, and do they play teams? And I think Luke has kind of carved a niche for himself because of the teams.
And Logan, you'll be on that sideline again. You have a very, very interesting vantage point. But we'll all be watching the game very, very closely because we're almost at week 1 of the regular season. However, we still have to get through the Ravens Saturday. Let's take a look at some of our game day details. This Saturday at 12 p.m., we will be back at the crib at Northwest Stadium taking on the Baltimore Ravens. You can watch our WSA 9. That'll be Brian Mitchell, Chick Hernandez, and myself on that sideline giving you access you won't get anywhere else. And while you're watching, you can also listen on Big 100 with Bram Weinstein, London Fletcher, and the legend, Logan Paulson. Make sure you tune in to our final preseason game. It's time for your Can't Miss Moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. And this Can't Miss Moment is Mr. 8 to the 9 with our rookie wide receiver.
Well, I'm here with Jaden Lane, our new punt return / wide receiver. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So when we first drafted you, 4th round pick, I saw what you did to my Hurricanes in college. You made a lot of big plays.
Yeah.
When you came into this team, what was your focus like? Did you come in thinking that, okay, maybe I'll be used more as a punt returner or a receiver? And from that point when you came on to the team, since you've been here, what has been your primary focus?
Yeah, I think coming on, my focus was just earning respect, teammates, coaches, because I feel like it's the first thing you got to do when you come to a new team. That's what I did when I transferred in college. So just come in, earn respect, work hard, and put my head down. And, whatever role I'm given, I just want to dominate that. And, as we've been going forth and getting into camp, I definitely feel like my role as a receiver has, gone up a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I'm just trying to just dominate that and, do the best I can.
That's one of the bright things about it. See, you said the key word, earn your respect. A lot of people fail to realize, and a lot of people come in differently, so they don't have to earn it. It's kind of given, but then they have to go out there and prove that they're worthy of that.
Yeah.
And for you to have that kind of mentality, that's great. And then also just saying that, hey, you know what? I stepped on the scene and I didn't really accept nothing, but just went out here and played hard.
Yeah.
And it shows. It shows up on film. It shows up in the game. Speaking of the game, now Monday night, preseason, regular season, whatever season it is, it's always a special night.
Sure.
You went out there and made some key catches.
Yeah.
I love how fearless you was in that punt return situation, just seeing the guy in front of you and everything. What was it like playing on the big stage Monday night, and where did you leave that game at mentally?
Man, it was a special night, man. It was my first time at home with the team and first time stepping on that grass, so it was cool. Just being able to go through this and having this as a blessing. So, my mentality was, go out, do what I do, not make it too big.
Yeah.
That's when you start getting nervous.
Yes.
Mistakes happen, but I just went out there and just played my game, tried to play as fast as possible, and I feel like I played pretty good.
So I'm gonna ask this question because a lot of us have those kind of jitters regardless of the stage.
Yeah.
Did you have any jitters going into the game, or did you have any jitters going into saying, well, one, this is the first time I'm playing in front of my home crowd, and two, it's Monday night?
Yeah, I'd say I got jitters before every game, and it's like after that first play or that first little piece of contact, it all go away. But I get a little butterfly. It's nothing too crazy, but I just got to take a moment, take a deep breath, and I'm straight.
Okay, my last one, man, I'm going to ask you because, I'm pretty sure from afar you got a chance to see this team play. I'm not sure, being that you're from South Carolina, how much of the guys around there rooted for this team, or do you root for the Carolina Panthers? But knowing that you was coming here to pair up with Jaden Daniels, what was that process like when you found out you was coming here, and how has it been so far since you've been here?
Man, I was excited because it's great. Coach Bobby Ingram and Drake Coleman, they came to work me out right after my pro day. So I knew I was on, watched the radar and whatnot, and that pick was coming around. I was like, all right, man, this might be it. I was telling my folks, and then I got the call. It was real exciting. I was extremely happy, and being here, man, I just from all the vets, man, they've really taken me in, all the rookies really, and just kind of helped us, just take that next step, whether it be just coach me up on some regular stuff right after a play or film, whatever it is, and I'm just blessed to be here, man.
That's no doubt, man. And I want to tell you, man, going forward, I wish the best for you this season and throughout your whole career, man, and thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Back to you, BC.
Great to see one of the best to do it in Washington with our rookie. Now, let's take a look at the preseason numbers for our newest wide receiver, Jaylin Lane. He had 3 receptions and 42 receiving yards against the Bengals and 1 huge catch on 3rd down that set up a field goal for the Commanders. He also returned a punt for 11 yards. Commanders family, you know we always have special shows for you, especially special live shows in the Mouth of the South. Our legend of the game.
Yes.
Got a live show coming up, man.
Hey, come check out me and my co-host Michael Jenkins at Duffy's. We're going to have a little bit of humor mixed with a lot of sports. Our second show there. Can't wait to see you.
That's the Get Loud podcast with Mike Jenks and my boy, Fred Smoot. And to make sure you don't miss it, we got some details for you. Next Friday, August 29th at 8 p.m. At where, Fred?
Duffy's.
Duffy's Irish Pub, Capitol Hill. Be sure to pull up for Get Loud Live with the Mouth of the South, Fred Smoot.
And Mike L. Jenkins.
It's time for your winning numbers brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And these winning numbers are those of somebody that won a lot in the burgundy and gold. Our guy, Mr. 2 to the 7 or Mr. 2 to the 1 if you ask him, Fred Smoot. He played 9 seasons, got 446 tackles, 21 interceptions, which London likes to remind him is less than his career interceptions, and 85 passes defended. Fellas, you are looking at our guy, Fred Smoot. I feel like we were talking about him all show.
All show.
The legend of the game. Look at the way.
Stirring that
my
pot.
boy. Tossing that flag, ain't he, Ted?
That was my hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No.
You didn't think you didn't like it?
No.
His back hurting today.
That was all show.
The energy was good. The energy was great. The energy was great.
The energy was great, as it always is. And we're going to have great energy for you this Friday at the Muni because the Command Center podcast, the best crew in the world, will be live out there giving y'all a live show. So make sure y'all tune in so y'all can check the legend of the game, the legend of life, Logan Paulson, and of course, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. We'll see y'all at the live show Friday night.